I'm going to review the next assignment called Website Mockup. And so the website mockup, we'll just go over the project sheet here. It's to produce a mockup of a website. It's got to be PG rated, either in Illustrator, Photoshop, or InDesign. I'm going to demonstrate it in Illustrator. As a suggestion, it really depends on the subject of your site, but you need to come up with 4 pages, right? So home. You could do a portfolio, could do videos on a page, photos on a page, an about page, contact page, but whatever 4 pages make sense for your site. Here's the trick. They need to be different layouts, but all go together. It's not the same layout repeated. Hope that makes sense, and hopefully my demo will make that clear. If you visit any website, it's not the same layout. That gets really boring. So you need to keep the same grid. So there's an underlying grid and the same placement of specific things. Like you don't move around your navigation. You don't really move around. Well, the logo does change from the home page, but once you get to the secondary pages, the logo stays in the same place. You don't move the colors around, they stay the same. So here's the deal. You're going to produce this website, 4 pages. Now, let me just calm your nerves a little bit. You're mocking it up. That means it's a pretend website. There's links are not happening. So don't even think you need to create working links. You need to just have a design where links would go. Yeah, you don't need to have any HTML or anything in there. Okay, all right. So you will also produce a process book. And what a process book, it really shows, just the naming kind of names what it is. It shows your process to get from the beginning to the end of this design project. So I'll go through and mention the things that you need to do to include in your process book. In the end, you will turn in a 1-page PDF, or sorry, not a 1-page, a single PDF that includes your process book and your website. Okay, so here's the process. Consider and decide on the subject of your site. Okay, review the linked video or videos at the end of this project sheet. Research sites. So find sites that are similar to the site you'll be producing. I'm going to do a surf site. So I'm going to go find some other surfing companies and their products and see how they handle things. There's, and why am I doing that? Well, you want to look like a surf site, or you want to look like a site that you're so similar subject. Like if I was doing a news site, I would want to look more like CNN, the BBC, or something like that, instead of like Kraft Foods. So there are some things that indicate news site and some other design decisions that indicate a food site. So it's good. That's why I'm having you do this. So you want to do is find 2 sites that are similar in subject to the site you'll create. And in your process book, you're going to capture 4 pages of those 2 sites. So a home page and 3 secondary pages, making it a total of 8 captures in all. Okay. We're going to place those in a document. So the document could be in a Word doc or an InDesign doc, but you're going to place it in a document and make notes about the site. So, and here's what I'm after. Well, I want to talk about grid. We'll talk about color scheme. We'll talk about navigation options and location and image assessment. And I review those. I'll do the entire, at least one example, go through a site and we'll talk about each of these. The next thing you'll want to do is create thumbnails. Now, thumbnails are small, quick sketches, and this is important, that are in the same proportions as your site or of the thing you're doing. And the thumbnails show instead of doing an entire design or an entire drawing or painting, thumbnails let you figure out your composition or where your placement of things will be very quickly, so you don't spend, 20 hours on a painting and then come back and go, oh, if I would have just moved that element up a little bit, it would have been much better. So these thumbnails are really important in visual arts. So the next thing, you want to sketch the home page with the accompanying 3 secondary pages, and they should have the similar elements going together. So they should feel like this home page. When you go to these next secondary pages, they feel like they go with this home page. And then you'll do that 2 different times. So 1 direction, 2 direction. And this totals at least 8 thumbnails. You'll add these thumbnails to your process book. How do you do that? You take a picture with your phone and email it to yourself. So then you have it on your computer and you can place it in. Pick one of those directions you'll pursue, and then you begin. So in Illustrator, you open up a new document window, and I'll demo this. This is a minimum size I want you to make, 1366 pixels wide by 768 tall. So that is a horizontal format. We're not designing for the phone. We're not designing for the tablet right now. We're only designing for a desktop, keeping it super simple. After you do that, gather up your assets that you'll need, including your pictures, the logos, your icons, colors, ads, whatever else you want to include. And then you start designing. So what my suggestion is design your home page first, but include the elements that aren't going to move. So your navigation, your logo, your footer, that's the thing at the bottom of the page that has like copyright, maybe a site, some pages on the site that are clicked on often, and then maybe contact information. But this footer is repeated on every page. So if my suggestion is to design your header with navigation and maybe social media and logo, and the footer that I just covered, and leave this main content open. Once you have that designed, duplicate that page 3 times. So now you have 4 pages that are the same, and then you can start designing 1, which is the home page. 2, that's the whatever, video page. Okay. And then here's the duplication step. Rename each artboard with a page that it represents. Complete the design of your website. Save your site, and remember to embed links, linked images in the links panel if needed, and then submit to Portfolio with your process book, all one PDF, and the site mockup, and then submit that link to Canvas. Okay, so here are some very quick specs. Create a process book that includes 8 screen captures, your site assessments, and your thumbnails. Produce a 3-page website mockup in either Illustrator, InDesign, or Photoshop. The file should be these minimum dimensions. Design for desktop. Remember, not a phone or tablet. Include at least the following divs. And now divs are short in web programming for divisions. So a header division, a main content division, and a footer division, or div. And then post your mockup pages in Portfolio, and then a link in Canvas. Okay, great. Here's what you'll turn in. 1 PDF file that includes the following: the process book, your research assessment thumbnails, and a 4-page digital, digital file website in Portfolio by the last day of classes. What does that mean? We don't want that, sorry. Okay, so a 4-page website. This is what your file should include. All right, and then the schedule, you'll get it on February 3rd, and I'll demo it, and then on the 15th is when it's due. So I will link videos in here, but this is the project sheet. I've just covered it. Now we'll jump right into the research, making the project process book, and then doing the actual demo in Illustrator. Here we go. Possible design. So this is one. This is Billabong, and so you can see they have like layers of navigation. There's a navigation up here, there's men or women here. Then once you get into that, there's lots of options in here: board shorts, clothing, tees, accessories, blah blah blah. A little bar that tells you what's on sale. But we're just stopping here. This is called the page fold, and we'll stop right here. Okay. So this is one, and so how would I do this? So let's see. I'm going to take a screenshot, and Windows is a little different. In Mac, you can do a Control-Shift-4, and you make a little screenshot of this, and you take a picture of it. Down in the bottom right corner, you can tell it where it'll go, your pasteboard, or just where. And then let's say you copy it, and then you'll go place it in your document, in your process book. So and then we're going to comment on this. So one of the things we need to talk about is the grid. So you can see right now, this is a, you saw the division in the middle, right? So we can have two columns right here. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. So here's two definite columns. And then it can break into three. We're back at 2, and then it can also go into 4. So what this is telling me right off is that this is a 12-column grid. So if you imagine 12 boxes going across here, 12 boxes could be divided in half, like this one is. So we have like 6 and 6. And then this one is 4, 4, and 4. And then when we come down here, it's 3, 3, 3, and 3. And so that's the nice thing about this 12-column grid, which is pretty standard on websites, is that it can be really divided pretty minutely. And even on this one, I mean, this could be a 7-column, and this could be 5 over here. I know the switching, the division changes, but this is called a multi-column grid, or sorry, there's a term right here, modular. It's kind of divided up in modules. Okay, so let's go to another one. Hopefully it's different. A lot of nav at the top, and then if we were to pick, and there's a little area over here where you can filter stuff by size or color or whatever style, and then there's 3 big columns right here. So I don't know what those would be, and if this is, so perhaps this is a 4-column, 1, 2, 3, 4. All these seem bigger, so I may be a little off on that. And as we scroll through, see how modular this is. Like these barefoot shoes, they are one module. And as you change the size on the site, you could get 4 across. Let me just do that. Oh, no, they just get larger, don't they? Okay, well, that's okay. No theory is ruined. That's all right. So that's that. We'll look at rip curl and look at this navigation here. Look at kids, equipment. And here again, we're at a 3-column. Let's see if we were to click on this. And one giant picture, and then some small info down here. And I'm in a pretty narrow, this might be a tablet type setting. So, okay. So you're going to be, since I'm recording, I can't capture these images. I guess I could see if I have them already created here. Let's see. No, I don't have the project sheet created, but I think it explains it pretty well in here. You take 3 shots of the site. So this would be, so this would be this would be the main page, which you'll capture. Then, we could go into this page, oops, say this one, which you'll capture, and then you can go to this level and capture that. So we can kind of see how this breaks down. And then you're going to talk about, so when we talk about color, I should mention that. So I'm not talking about the photographs. Don't go, oh yeah, it's a light blue sky and kind of a sea green ocean. No, we're just talking about the elements. So this is black and a deeper red, and then we see the black on all the other elements. When I mouse over it, nothing really happens. You notice there is a kind of a warm gray, maybe a 10% or 20% here. Let's see, yeah, it's all black down here. When I mouse over, we get that dark red again. So we're really looking at just like how the color breaks down for the site. Here's red. So here's our red and black again. So this is pretty, and then some gray. So it's pretty standard as far as red and black and gray. This one looks like we have gray and black, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna look at, yeah, black. And then if we were to click on like a sub category, I don't see much difference, just black and gray really. And then what kind of images? So it's interesting. Like this is a lifestyle image, action, lifestyle, product, lifestyle. Lifestyle is just like what happens every day, and they try to reenact that with models. Product is pretty obvious. You get to see the product itself displayed one way or another. All three of these are lifestyle. And then, at least in surfing, you're going to see action like this. This is an action shot. This one might be action, might be lifestyle. So those are the main categories of images. So yeah, there's a big action, another big action. Okay, so now that I've kind of discussed those, now we'll move on to creating the site. Well, let's look at the thumbnails first. So here are my thumbnails, and I wanted to warn you about this. I mean, if I'm looking at my actual site, that 1366 by 768, that's a very narrow, long site. So these squares to start as your thumbnails are not appropriate. This is a square, this is more vertical, and this is just not the right length. So make sure that your initial squares that you draw your thumbnails for your website are the correct proportion. And what I'm doing is I'm doing two different directions. Here I have the logo centered with the navigation right under it. I've divided my home page into two images. And then on a sub page, this is probably more product, where we have filters or descriptions on and then 3 products here. And then this might be the opening to an accessories page. So it might have 2 big images and the word accessories across here, and then we'll start at the page fold where we start going into products. On the left, this is another site direction. So this is the home page. It's a big hero image, and this directs you to a couple things you could go to from this hero image. The logo's on the left, navigation is near it, not in another bar, it's still in the same little area of the header. And so just to let you know, this area up here is called the header. This area down underneath is the footer, kind of this area right here. And then this area is called main content. So here this is main content, and we don't even see the footer because it goes beyond. But all that up there is header and navigation. Okay, so thumbnails, then I'm going to kind of pick a direction and begin running with it. So what I've done here is created a page, and I've put some guidelines in here for how I want my site. And I know I need to have a header area, and I've decided to leave a little border around the whole thing. How I did that equally, let me just show you. I'm going to make a page down here. And this particular page, I'm just kind of pulling it out of, let's see, this is, let's just say 1200 by 600. Okay, so if this was 1200 by 600 and I wanted a border of 50 pixels all the way around it, I would make a rectangle. If I just click, then I get my measurements that pop up with my rectangle. I'm in Illustrator if I haven't said that before. So 1200, if I go, my rectangle has to be 50 on this side and 50 less on this side. So it's going to be 1100. And then my height, instead of 6, is going to be 500 because that's 50 on the top, 50 on the bottom. Click OK. And then to center this, let's see, I'm going to go up to Window and go down to Align. So here's my Align palette. And to align this, I need to first choose what it's going to align to. So I'm going to use this little pull down here, and I'm going to choose Align to Artboard. And then now it's aligning to Artboard, so I'm going to choose Center it in the Artboard, vertical or left to right, and then center top to bottom. And there I'm actually done with my line, and I have 50 pixels all the way around. Now to make this a guideline like this is up here, I'm going to highlight it and then go to Object, and then I'm going to go to Create. Let's see, so I can find it. Oh, I think it's under View, Guides, Make. So to make this a selected object, guides, View, Guides, Make. Now all of a sudden, these are my guides. So then I can put in additional boxes and guidelines in here and then change them all over to guides if I want to. The other way to make guides is to bring up your rulers, Control R, Command R if you're on a PC, and drag and bring this down to a certain area and release it, right? So maybe this is my header and that's my body area. And if I wanted to duplicate these, select them. There, so header, main content, and footer. All right, so you're kind of in the know now. I'm gonna just delete that and go back to my site that I've kind of created here. Oh, you know what I should have done? Let me see if I can do that again. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so let's say I've made my home page, and I'm going to put some logo in it. I'm going to lock all these for now. That logo, I'm just going to put some kind of stroke to it. And let's call it like surf stuff. Actually, I'm going to change that to like a gray. And then the surf stuff's going to go right over the top. And let's see. Okay. Let's see. If I wanted to make my navigation right here, I'm gonna click my word and I'll put in like women, and then I'll put in men, and I'll put in children, or kids, I guess, and then I'll put in equipment, and then team. Okay, so now I want to fit all these in here, and what I'll probably do is just get one where I want it, and then I'm going to select all of them and bring my Align palette up again. And this time they're all selected. I'm going to choose Align to Selection this time. Well, let's see, that didn't really work. Let me just couldn't see it. There it is, align to selection. And it's going to ask, or kind of, it's wondering what my main, what my, oh, you know what, should be the key object. I'm not sure why I'm not able to select key object here. Oh, there it is, key object. Okay, so see how we get this double selection? I don't want that one. I've kind of placed this one where I want it. So I'm going to click on the women or word, and then now that they're all going to align to this. So I'm going to make them align on the same baseline, and then I'm going to go to this distribute spacing, and as you can notice here, this is putting horizontal space between each word. So I'm going to start off with maybe 25, and then I'm going to click horizontal spacing, and that's 25 pixels between each word. Even though the words are different lengths, it'll do that. So I might just move them all down so they kind of fit that little area there, and I might put down 40, and then this vertical line 60 vertical line. I'm trying to get my spacing right. That looks okay. This will give me room for my social media over here. And okay, so that looks good. Now on the social media icons, what they're doing now is let's see, is yeah, they're kind of capturing them all together as a group, and so I'm gonna do that. Images. I'm gonna bring up large, and then I might just get this one here, and I'll copy it, and I'll bring it into Photoshop, and I'm gonna crop this bottom out. And then I'm just going to bring this right into, actually I could have just pasted right in Illustrator. Let me do that. Paste this into Illustrator off to the side here. Paste. Okay, so now what I want to do is make this, I'm going to make it an outline. So okay, do you see, so now that I have this image selected that I placed in, there's an image trace, which I'll click, and I'm going to choose black and white logo. It's further down, you can't see it, but you'll see it when you go through that. So black and white logo, then I'll click expand, which is right here, and then ungroup. And then what I can do is remove, oops. So I'm going to delete, oh gosh, I need to ungroup these. It didn't ungroup. Okay, now I can begin removing parts of this, because now these are all vector. They've all changed into vector. And I'm going to remove some of them that I don't want and include ones I do want. Yeah, I'm just going to do these three. Just like that, something like that. Okay, and let me put this away. Okay, okay, awesome. I'm going to group these together, Control G, Control G, Control G, and I'm going to have to go and select all the black parts of these, and then I'm going to change them to a gray, maybe that. So they're vector, they're really huge right now, but they're grouped as a, they're grouped together. So I'm going to probably put these up here actually, because I think they're just going to get way too small here. So I'll put them up in the top corner of my site. No, maybe I will put them down here. And then I can do the same thing that I did before with my align, and align to and I could align these to an object, but I don't think I'm going to right now, just for the sake of time. I'm just going to reduce these down a bit and kind of center them in that area. Okay, so the site's coming along, and then lastly I'm going to put some stuff in this footer area. And what I may do is just kind of reverse it out just so it's a little different. So I'll just get my, just a rectangle here. Put that in. And I'm probably going to match it to that, oops, that gray. Did it match? No. I think it's that one right there. And then it overcovered. Oh, my word. Change that to white. And I'll just put my and then I could put phone. And then whatever, maybe nothing, maybe that's fine. Okay, so we have a footer and repeating elements. So what I'll do next is I'm going to duplicate this over. So I'm going to use this artboard tool, which is Shift-O, to get to that. And then to duplicate this, since I'm ready to, these are my repeating items, right? So I'm just going to drag this over. Now notice that my this didn't come with it, so I'm going to Control Z it and make sure that's unlocked. So to unlock it, I'll go to Object, Unlock All, or Shift Command 2. And now I can drag this over just a couple times because we have to make two. And then I'll put some hero image in here. And then since this is a secondary page, you know, I could put some type of indicator that they're on a new page, and you know, maybe could be something as easy as like a little box around it, just to indicate, hey, this is where you're at. And then I'll do something a little different on, or pick another page. So I'm going to copy this, Control C, then I'll go over to this new page, and I'll choose Edit, Paste in Place. So it gets pasted exactly where it was last time, but maybe I'm going to move it and just kind of reposition it. So now I have a home page, an equipment, a men's page, and an equipment page. So now I can start just, you know, putting my thumbnails, oops, where did that go? Yeah, my thumbnails in place now that I have the navigation, the logo, and the footer going. Yeah, so now I can start designing it. Let me show you what I've done up here. So here's, and so this is going to go really fast because I'm just going to turn on some layers. But here's my grid. I have images, text, logo. I have a few lines, and I think that is it. So let me turn off my oops. Okay, so here's my home page. You can see the home is outlined. And then here is my boards and wax page, what I need to do, like let's say I wanted to bring an ad in here, and that's how I kind of planned this one. So what I did was I made, you know, a rectangle about how I know how long I want the ad, which is as long as that line. And to go look at it, I'm going to go into info and go, oh yeah, that line is 832 wide. And then how deep do I want this thing? Well, let's just draw a box here. So we'll go 832, and then the height maybe 60. Oh no, it's way too small. But I can drag it out and go, let's see, I would like it. Oops. Get rid of that one. I'll take that box and just go, I think this would be nice about that deep. Well, it's 115. Okay, so then what you do is you go in into Photoshop and you create a new image that is what is it, 830? I can't remember what it was, by 115. So then you start putting images in there and a logo in there, which I've done already here. So if we oops, I don't want those guys in there. Yeah, so I've made this like Quicksilver, and so let's say I like this one. I might strengthen that logo a little bit, which is here, and it's set to multiply at 100%. I might duplicate that, and there you go. Even just that did it. So now I can save this as a JPEG. So I'll go save. It's a JPEG. I'm going to call this Bannerad 8. And I'm probably wrong on the size, to be honest, because I don't remember what that 800 was. But I'll go in here and choose. I'm going to delete that and then do File Place. And there's my Bannerad 8. And I'll just click and drag that in place here. So that's how I'm putting images in that are the right size that have been designed. And then I can just put some text in here, and that's basically it. So hopefully that was enough to let you. I know that was a long demo, but I think you have all the tools now to complete this website.